Hey everybody. Today we're looking at the Cessna 207 Stationair, Turbo 207 Stationair. This is the famous flyer that just came out maybe a few days ago, about a week, give or take. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. So on the outside, of course, as per usual, it looks good. So looks real nice. Now here's the thing: the Cessna Stationair 207 Stationair actually has a lot of room. This was actually designed to compete with the Piper Saratoga and other big sixes of the time. Supposedly, these are also very good short takeoff and landing aircraft, good for bush flying. Now, today, we are going to actually test this a little bit more because I'm not at my usual airport. This time around, since this is a turbocharged airplane, I am going to, we're going to take off out of Telluride. That's an elevation of 9,070 feet. So we're going to put that turbo to use. Our flight will terminate about 60 miles to the south. That airport is called Durango, La Plata County. So if you're interested in duplicating this flight, the designator for Telluride is KTEX, or Kilo Tango Echo X-Ray, and Durango, La Plata County, is Kilo Delta Romeo Oscar, or KDRO. Both of these are in Colorado. So now that we've taken a look at the outside, it looks pretty good. See, we even got the stole drop tips a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and go inside. Okay, so this is a standard Cessna, standard carburetor Cessna, no less. It's got some of the old school gauges. You know it's carbureted because you have. Okay, well, my mistake. It is not carbureted. It is fuel injected. I thought that actually said carb heat, but it says cabin heat. So my mistake. It's not a carbureted engine. So we got a fuel injected engine. Great. Even better. I like those better. All right, so we're going to step out here. We're going to go ahead and get this started. Now, the thing about this airport is that normally the checklist would say something to the effect of mixture rich when taxiing, but you want to pull back because the altitude is so high, the engine will actually run better with the mixture pulled back just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to turn our master on. Going to make sure our fuel is all right. Now, the unique thing about this is that the fuel selector here, most Cessnas have a both setting. This does not. This is either on the left tank or the right tank. All right, master's on. So let's give our throttle about 1/4 of an inch. Props forward. And we're going to prime it. 4, 5. Master back. Start this like a fuel injected engine. And we're started. Okay, from here. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our avionics on. Here's our autopilot. Like DME. And our Garmin at 530. So far, it's pretty accurate. It's alternate static source here. All right. flipping through like my nav setup just the way that is. We don't have any GPS. I'm waiting for the satellites to kick in. Then once it acquires the satellites, then we're going to go do a run up and get on out of here. Now, the thing about it, Telluride is not a controlled airport. So, in real life, you'd have to make some position calls. What is taking this so long? Okay, still acquiring. I don't know what that's about, why it's taking so long. Let's set our transponder to altitude. Alrighty. Check out our range a little bit. There we go. And from there, found a place to do a nice little run up. So we're facing outward. Park brakes off. Brakes are on. Spin her around. Do nicely. So we'll go ahead and at 1800 RPM. I actually am not using a checklist, but I fly Cessnas quite a bit, so I'm just running off a regular Cessna with an exerciser prop. Okay, check our oil pressure. Checks out. All the gauges in the green. Suction gauge is sucking. All right. Got our pressure set. And our compass is aligned. Our DG is aligned with our compass. All right. Go ahead and the runway. We are going to take off runway 27 because the winds are calm. I'm just going to head over to 27. So far, it taxis and it behaves like most Cessnas, but I'm going to see if it flies. It doesn't fly like a 172, I hope. But it does taxi like one. So if a pilot was jumping out of a 172 and wanted to transition to a stationary, probably could do it pretty easily. You are dealing with a little more power, though. So there's that. But, with some good instruction, that transition shouldn't be too hard. Go ahead and put 10 degrees of flaps in because we are at a high altitude airport and I want to get all the lift I can get. Okay, we're at runway 27. trying to find the most efficient point. My RPMs are their highest. There we go. All right, so I'm going to head on out. Taxis really well. Really does. All right, so I'm going to treat this like a short field. Goodness for long runways, I'll tell you that. Oh, there we go. Got a little heavy on the rudders trying to steer, so that's on me. Give a little trim up. And I'm going to turn my tracker back on. It's easy for me to fly with tracker. And look at that cliff. Okay, this being a turbocharged airplane and all, really getting some good power out of this. And make my left turn. There's no mountains in the way. Looks like I probably will do a box climb. Because I don't think I'm going to clear those mountains, so I'm going to try to keep the airport in sight. Just do a box climb till I can get over those mountains. Take a little bit bigger bite of air, so I've got prop out, so now that we're at cruise. And so what a box climb is, basically, is I'm going to climb up, get up over those mountains, and then head on over to the airport. Right now I'm getting a good 1,500 per minute climb, which is actually really good for a Cessna. Still climbing, that's actually really good. Really good. All right, I'm at 12,000 feet. At this point too, in real life, I would have some oxygen, because a really high and supplemental oxygen would be necessary. try to get to about 15,000 feet. And that's going to get me over the highest part of the mountains. The highest point, I believe, out here is 14,600, but we're going to actually fly over a 13,700 foot. So we're just going to get up there. I got it at full throttle. As you can see, such a high altitude, as you can see. All right, we're at 14,000. Climbing and get 500 foot per minute, which, okay, I'm probably at the edge of how high this thing can actually fly. We're at 14,500. It trims really nice, so I can give it that. Really nice. So what I can say is this plane is doing pretty good. Now that we're at 15,000, 15,500. Ground speed of 120 knots, 123 knots. I've actually never done any real mountain flying. I heard it's beautiful, but it's also very dangerous. Well, it can be dangerous with small airplanes if you don't know what you're doing anymore. So hold here. And we have nav setting. We should be well over everything that's in our path. So, the autopilot works pretty well. So we're going to be in here 16-minute flight to Durango. Now let's take a look at it from the outside. First off. And look at that. right, so what I can actually say is it also flies like a Cessna, big Cessna, from what I understand. And, I really don't have anything bad to say about this airplane at all. So, not at all. Let's see if we can toy with some things back here. No. Passengers can't turn on any vents. You don't want to mess with that because that will actually shut the simulator down. Now, in real life, I know in the 172, you can actually open these in flight, and your restriction is the red line. You can literally open it all the way to the red line, 172. So if you're going to do emergency procedures, you can, because you can actuate these. Well, some of them. You can actuate that one, this one, here. And then when you get here, do that one, that one. Nothing here, nothing here. Holding altitude pretty well, and we are now at 156 knots. So we're 13 minutes out of our destination. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick up these guys. If I can pick up the ASOS. See what the weather is. Is calm. Look at my 4 flights. They prefer when the wind is calm. Right now they're reporting a 5 knot. 5 knot wind. 1 knot crosswind, 5 knots straight down the runway. So I'm going to do runway 21. I'm using a little bit of live weather from 4 flight. I'm going to set up for runway 21. We still have 155 knots, 11 minutes to go. Mountainous scenery. Now, if I had live weather, theoretically, these should be covered in snow. I believe Denver just had a snowstorm. I know someplace in Colorado was getting some snow. I guess that's what I heard. Now, I could have heard wrong. I believe you should have some snow already. So, if you know about that, let me know in the comments if Denver had snow. Or Telluride, this area's had any snow. And we got Electro Lake down here. The Electro Lake. I don't know what river this is. So the advantages of having a turbocharged airplane, here they are. High altitude and still develop some decent power to get you someplace you want to go relatively quickly. There's your air vents, you can play with those. There's supposed to be a power station somewhere. This road is accurately detailed because it's also showing up on my ForeFlight. So I wonder where the power station is. Might not be able to see it from this angle. So again, this is very typical Microsoft, famous flyer airplanes. Most of everything in here works. I'm gonna just about everything. So it's all good. There's a town of Bell down here somewhere. Over here. Right off our wing. Can you imagine living out here in the mountains? I know some of you all probably do. If you do, let me know what that's like. I've only been to Estes Park, Colorado, to the resort they have up there. Reservoir over here. Let's see a reservoir. Reservoir. Right, so about 5 minutes out. So we're going to go ahead and set up for our landing. Turn the autopilot off. Maximum power down a little bit. We're going to start our descent. And we're just going to make straight in 2-1. Feet is our pattern altitude here. back down to some more preferable performance, air density for performance. That 9,000 did pretty well, but like most piston-driven airplanes, when you get to high altitudes, the power drops off significantly. I'm pretty sure Microsoft doesn't exactly doesn't do a whole lot of justice to the mountainous terrain out here. I'm sure in person it's way more beautiful. If you've been out here, ever flown out to Telluride, feel free to talk about it in the comments. This is kind of on my bucket list. I also want to do Catalina Island as well. It's on the bucket list too. Maybe in time I get my own airplane, I can do that. But flying from Missouri to California, that's a trip. And turn my tracker back on. I like to land my tracker on. Airport should be out to our right, about 10 miles out. Nice steady descent. One thing I can say about Cessnas is that they handle really nice and they're very predictable. I learned to fly with in a 152 starting, 150 then a 152. Then I stepped up to a 172. And one thing I can say is, like usually, they're very predictable. You know what they're going to do. You almost know when they're going to. You know when they're going to do it. Ain't no almost to it. You know when they're going to do it. And yeah, that's what makes them such great training airplanes. All right, let's see if I can find my airport. There it is, right out in front. In real life, I would not do a 10-mile final, but for the sake of time, because I really don't like to have long videos, for the sake of time, we're just going to do a straight in, see how this thing lands. Say this, these are kind of annoying. Out. Get us slow down a little bit. So we're not blazing down this long final at 130 knots. That's our ground speed. Slow it down and indicate airspeed would be much less than 120, 130 knots. We do have a nice stabilized approach though. If this was an instrument approach, this would be really good. except I would need to have glide scope active and all that. So I'm doing a visual approach, not an instrument one. So there's that. Airplane is very docile happy. So one thing I really do appreciate about Cessnas is they're not abrupt, pretty straightforward. Now I want to fly actual 207 to see if it's as docile as this is. 82 miles. First 10 degrees of flaps in. Final approach for Durango. This is going to be real nice. Welcome to Durango. Now let's see if we can get how accurate 4 flight is, how Microsoft is on these taxiways. Because Alpha 3 should be coming up. So I'm gonna look for Alpha 3. There it is. Alpha 3. Yep, right here. I really like this airplane. This is a good, relaxing airplane to fly. I really enjoy it. Okay, now right in front of me should be some buildings, but there's not. Wonder where the gas pump is here. There's a truck. Theoretically, I should be looking at some buildings, but I'm not. So we're gonna call it good right here. All right. Well, I really enjoyed the Cessna 207. I think that Microsoft did a really good job with this one. It's easy to fly. And it's turbocharged, so you know that's always good. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, blue skies, tailwinds.